Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's one, I'm still feeling rough as houses, so what we're going to do is talk about photos that I've taken that are featured in my debut zine, and then talk about the stories behind them and how I came about actually taking them. And then, as you can see behind me, I've got a brand new camera. That's next week's video. Look forward to that. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because we're taking the Leica Q3 out for a spin to see whether it's really worth the $6,000 price tag. But here we are. I've got my zine in front of me. I'm going to pick out 5 of some of the images that I really like all of them I like in this, but I've talked about some of them before in other videos. I'm going to look through and find 5 different images that I haven't really spoken about too much, and then talk about the story behind them. So I've got this double spread page here, and I'll actually talk about both of the images on this page. We'll start off with the woman on the left. She's being sprayed with this water mist, and this was taken when we was in Prague. And in Prague it was like 35 degrees, everyone was absolutely boiling. My camera was on the flits because it was so hot. And yeah, people were walking into these mist jets that sprayed people with cool mist. And I thought with the reflections of the sun hitting the mist, it looked like little crystals flying through the air. So I saw this opportunity to take a shot, and there's just a lot of energy around. It's very lively of an image. So you've got all the posters on the post at the left hand side, which I really liked, and there's a couple of faces as well. So you've got the big face on the poster that's looking towards the subject in the mist as well, that's wearing some really big dark sunglasses so the eyes stand out, and the sign as well is a person walking in the direction that the subject is facing as well. So on either side of the subject, it's giving you different directions to look. So if you're looking at the left side of the image at the poster of the person, you're looking at the person in the middle, our actual subject, because the person in the poster is looking towards our subject. And then you've got the sign of the person walking, and that is walking in the direction of our subject as well. So everything is meeting and surrounding our subject really quite nicely. And then of course just the facial expressions and the crystallized mist. I think it looks really quite nice, captures the essence of summer in Prague. And yeah, I really like the image. It's something that I didn't expect that I would like as much until after the edit. It looked really nice. I'm proud of it. The next image is taken also in Prague, and that is a person changing a light bulb by the looks of it on Charles Bridge. But Charles Bridge have street lamps that are actually still oil, so they're all dimming the oil lamps when it comes to sunrise. And this was taken at sunrise, a 4 a.m. wake up, tons of planning and preparation. I think that's the main point of this shot, because looking at the shot in face value, sure, it's cool because you've got the person changing the bulb or dimming the oil, and the sun is positioned perfectly behind the street lamp, looking like the sun is encapsulated within the street lamp and the person is playing around with the sun. A nice bit of perspective play. But it's actually more the planning of this image that makes me proud of it. So the waking up at 4 a.m, the planning to know that I wanted to be at Charles Bridge at this time because I know it was absolutely dead. And that was the main reason for me going to Charles Bridge at that time. I wanted a picture of that bridge with no one on it. And it was sometimes the only thing that I could do was get that first thing of the morning, because when you were there every other day at midday or an evening time, it was absolutely rammed with people. So knowing that I had to get up at a certain time to get there for a certain time, to know it would be absolutely empty, wait for the sunrise, position the sun at the perfect point, and then capture Charles Bridge how it was, this was just a little bonus. This was a little waiting for the sun to get in the right position for my hero shot. But I really like this image because it's really good playing with the perspective. Tons of planning went into it. Gives me proper holiday vibes from when I was back in Prague. I'm really happy with the image. Our next one is on page 23 of my zine, and is this lady right here. As you can tell, it's a lot of negative space. It's a person in almost pitch darkness, and it is touching a light that illuminates her, illuminates the subject. It's just a really cool, interesting image. But this was taken at a local seafront to where I live, Southend. Every year they have an Illuminosity festival, which is all something about unnatural light, all different types of light to create cool shapes, cool colours. I go quite often because it is just really interesting to see everyone interacting with different light sources can create some really good images. And this was one that I really liked from one time that I went there purely to take photos. And it is just the interaction between the subject and the light source, her reaching out to grab the light and the face being lit up and the emotion, everything around her is in darkness, and then all you've got is the light and the subject. Now, if I was going to do it slightly differently now, because it's all about reflection and changing different things, on the left side of the image there is a different light source. I would have positioned myself slightly differently to avoid getting that light source in the shot, but at the same time, it's still, the primary focus is that hand on the actual light itself. That's your primary draw, and then you look at where that hand's going. It's the subject, her face, her emotions, everything like that. A really nice image. I'm glad I took it. Probably one of the only good ones I got from my walk around on that night, but it was a really good one. Well worth the trip up there. Our next image is this one right over here, and this was a straight out of camera shot. It was taken just on a normal day walking around events, and this is a prime example to take a camera or something that can take decent photos with you at all times. So walking around, seeing this person positioned up against all of these signs that are in Korean, and then just positioning that person, the lighting hitting him, and the backdrop of all the signs creates a really interesting image. But the fact that it's straight out of camera, no edits, and I do like to edit my photos, I think that's a good part of the process, just goes to show that if I didn't have a camera with me that day because it wasn't a dedicated photography walk, it wouldn't have been captured. And that's probably the best thing that I can recommend any beginner photographer or anything like that, is always have something with you that can take photos, whether it be your phone, whether it be a camera, or things like that, because it is really important to capture the everyday, and that is a really good image. I really like how the light and everything around it's in darkness, but the light is capturing the subject and the signs, and that's it. Everything's encapsulated, looks really good, and it was captured straight out of camera. So really good image, and I really like it. And lastly, our picture over here of the man walking between some hanging bed sheets. This was taken in Crete on a very stormy morning. Those bed sheets, although look quite still, were blowing like crazy, and I was trying to position for a very long time someone in between the bed sheets as they were moving. It's not exactly how I was imagining this image here, but I'm glad I took it. It's the best one I got out of the whole wait, and I was waiting there for a hell of a long time. But you could see how some of the sheets are hanging down, draping along the floor, and some of the sheets are all the way in the air out of the frame, and that's how blowy it was. And then the person walking in between the frame isn't the primary draw, but the more you look at the image, the more things you see. You know, the shadows, the way that they're casting on the floor from the sun that's breaking through the stormy clouds in the background, or the subject being off-center and not the primary focus, isn't the first thing that draws your eye. The sheets are. But trying to find hidden sub-subjects within the main scene is quite a nice thing to do with this image. I really like the fact that our subject is walking out of frame, but captured right at the right time to be fit in that frame of the sheets around him. And then the rest of the sheets going from the sky all the way in draws you and sort of uses the line that the sheets are hanging on as a leading line that draws you to that frame where the subject is. Didn't expect it to come out like that. As I say, I was expecting something different, but really happy with the image. I'm really proud of the image. And as I say, in all of these images in this scene, I'm really proud of. The front cover is something that I've talked about a bunch, but as a bonus image, I'll talk about this one as well. Also taken in Prague, but tells a story. The person walking across the crosswalk is elderly. The crosswalk walking into the light from the shadow tells a story. Didn't expect it to come out that way, but everything around in darkness, and the subject is walking with the light on his back into the light. That one has got a lot of attention from people. People really like that image. I really like that image. Yeah, I've got tons of pictures in here. You can get a copy yourself if you want on my store, whether that be a printed copy or a digital one. I'm just, yeah, this is a nice little thing to do, just going back and reflecting on some of my images. So I'm going to do this more often, just chatting with you, showing you my images and why I like them and how I came to take them. Yeah, I'm going to do this more, but if you want to grab a copy yourself, go to my website, they are in stock. You can grab a digital one as well if you just want a high quality PDF. Completely up to you. But thank you so much for watching this video, and like I said earlier, get subscribed because next week we're out with the Q3 to put it through its paces. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.